What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Times
What's up? What's up?
and LeVon Maynard.
What up?
So we had a pretty action-packed week with all the different topics. So to recap, we talked about Google and their kind of shady location tracking services and how you can opt out. We talked about Revel, which is another cyber hacker cartel gang. They all these because they're getting organized.
Soon to be terrorists.
Right. Soon to be terrorists. And just the ramifications of their hard stance versus the U.S. hard stance on the JBS attack. And then we also talked about the Supreme Court's decision that kind of overturned. Yeah, it would be overturned, right? They overturned some, I guess,
the lower court's decisions.
The lower courts. Thank you. I'm terrible at law.
You're good.
That's why I gotta stay out the system. I don't know how it works. We just talked about how they flipped the CFAA to say that a former law enforcement officer, Van Buren, was in violation for taking a bribe running a license plate, but it did not breach the CFAA because of reasons. And you can go to those reasons in our discussion. So definitely tune into that one. Today, this is where we lay our hair down. We just unwind about all the stuff that happened this week. And we don't necessarily get into the cyber, but I always had to lead off the question with Shannon. Did you study this week?
I did not.
Get that out the way real quick.
I might as well just record one time me saying I did not study and just insert that clip.
Just play it. I did not study.
Yeah, I do have to get on it. I'm gonna end up pushing my date back first off because it's like 2 weeks out, 2.5 weeks out now, and I'm
okay, yeah.
Who knows how long? And I'm like, I don't want to jump back in this and be like, I feel like I never saw this stuff before.
Right.
I don't want.
What am I looking at?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. But yeah, whenever you jump into it, like you might just need to decompress a little bit. It's again, so Shannon's studying for this SP. But again, it's a inch, what is it, a mile wide, an inch deep. So it's a lot of information.
Yeah.
It's a lot of information, but that's why it's one of the hardest cybersecurity tests you ever take. So definitely lives up to its name. I haven't been studying. I've been doing nothing all week, and it's been great. So I think I need to take a long break. That's what I think I need to do. Just take a long break, collect my thoughts, watch some YouTubes, and keep it moving. Yeah. But what have you guys been doing this week?
Well, so I got my second COVID shot like on Thursday. So I guess I'm vaccinated now. I think
What's up?
We need to play like a little sound bite. It was like a celebratory sound bite right there. Some audience clapping like. But no, it's a good thing. I recommend anybody that's listening in, if you haven't got your vaccine already, just go and get it. It's like not a big deal. There's no computer chips in it, no Bill Gates tracking you down. If they want to track you, they got your cell phone. They know where you at right now. Google, Apple, they all know what you're up to. Facebook,
yeah.
So don't be scared of some vaccine that's like, it's safe. I mean, it's got very low risk, but get vaccinated, get country open again. That's how we get the country open and moving again. Everybody get vaccinated. But besides that, I've been chilling out. Me and the wife have been watching some shows. Actually been enjoying some Hunter x Hunter. It's an anime, Japanese anime. And as well as watching a little bit of My Hero. New episodes come out every like Saturday. So we check that out. And what else is there? I've been playing some Yakuza. I mean, I've been kind of the same, I guess the routine, same thing I was kind of playing last time we talked, but I don't have any like big announcements as far as like anything cool that I watched that I really want to recommend to you guys that you gotta see this. You know, I already mentioned My Hero Academia. I know that's a good series. I think you guys probably enjoy it. It's very like kind of like superhero focused, kind of like a Marvel type stuff we've been been really enjoying. But oh yeah, and I know Loki's coming out next week. I think that's coming out on Disney Plus. I don't know if Ryan, do you have Disney Plus yet? No.
I'm waiting until Loki is done.
That's right. You said
And
you said you wait till everything's
I'm gonna
wrapped up,
slide right in there,
and then you're
marathon
gonna
it all.
marathon everything. Be watching it for
Mhm.
like a couple months straight. But looking forward to that one. Um, but besides that, I've been kind of chilled out. How about you guys? You got been doing anything this week?
So I know for me, like I haven't watched anything new. Like oh man, I'm always showing my age when it comes to this stuff, right? So like I've been watching. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the series, but you know Columbo, the detective.
Oh yeah, I know
Yeah,
about that one.
yeah.
Well, my mom told me about that one. Yeah.
I see that. That's what I'm talking about. That's
I
what
watched
I
it.
don't know
I
about. I
watched it
never
with my
watched it in
grandma.
person, but
yeah.
Yeah, I watched it with my grandma.
He's like, yeah, my
Magnum,
my
Magnum
great
PI.
grandmother.
my great grandmother told me about that.
But I've always liked it. I'm like, why do y'all think I could fool Columbo, right? You know, and Columbo does it a little bit different. So like a lot of these shows, these like detective shows and whatnot, they make you try to figure it out with them as they go through it. Like in
Right.
Columbo, they tell you right in the beginning, they show you who did it, how they did it, and then they show you how Columbo comes up with,
Right.
I forgot to
Right.
mention,
One
so
more
like,
thing.
I used to always be like, why don't they just shoot Columbo? just get rid of him.
He is in the room with them alone a lot. Now that you say
A
that, like,
lot.
at the end,
Right.
he's in the room with them a lot. Alone a lot at the end. But
Yeah.
no, I've been like I've had to be careful because like some of the stuff I like to watch is stuff that my youngest can't watch. She's a parrot right now. Like she's repeating everything. So I find myself trying to watch stuff that's less less offensive, that she won't go and repeat and then I get in trouble with her mom, you know what I mean? So
Right.
so yeah, I watched a lot of Columbo. I caught a little bit of I finished up actually. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a Black Lady sketch show. It's
No, I haven't watched it. I've heard
Robin,
good things though.
yeah, Robin Thede is the creator. She used to have a show on BET, I think it was. I think, yeah. But yeah, it's actually kind of funny. I mean, as with any sketch show, right? There's some hits and misses, but like
Right.
for this one, it's pretty funny, especially in the Black community. There's some stuff you'll be like, oh, it's kind of like Boondocks, right? It's like, oh man,
yeah.
funny. That hurts a little bit, you know what I mean? Because of the
Yeah.
Right.
you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
It's like, oh, that's kind of wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a little
that
questionable.
hurts. Yeah,
Right.
but yeah, I finished that up. But no, I haven't really been watching. I haven't really been watching a lot of TV or anything like that. It's the weather's been getting better around here, so my children have been out back. Like we got a little like a 10-foot inflatable pool for them, for my children. So they've been out there doing that and been out there with them. And actually, this week we actually went back to work full time too, right? So like I don't have as much time at home, to take a little bit of a break, go up and do whatever. So yeah, I've been at work every day, this past week.
Mm.
Mm.
At home, children are in the pool. I know it's crazy, right? Like I'm not used to
Yeah.
it. But
I just saw there's like an article of I want to say it was Apple maybe, but there was like they actually petitioned Apple. I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was Apple, that said that they didn't want to come back to work, or they wanted to pretty much, I guess that's for the most part, they want to come back to work. They kind of wanted to keep the remote work kind of status, and they were making, I guess Apple wanted them to come in Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday every week. But people wrote like this long letter. I wrote some bits and pieces of it, but they wrote some long letter asking the CEO, like, hey, uh, can you explain to us why you want us to come back to work? Actually, they were asking them to provide like statistics, like how much more work can we do on site as opposed to remote? And like,
Right.
can you do a poll of the workforce and see who actually wants to come back into work versus who wants to stay home and work remote? So I just thought that was kind of interesting. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to deter the conversation there, Shannon. I know you.
That's interesting. I didn't
Yeah.
see that, but like, but you're saying the workers are asking them for the okay. What's the I don't want to say return on investment, right?
Yeah.
But like,
Mhm.
what's the benefit for us coming
Right.
back?
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting and bold, right? Because
Yeah.
some of the things were like Apple's a big name, so they could just be like, all right, you don't want to come back? don't come back. Be like, hey,
Right.
I'll go hire these guys over here that are
That's
right.
that are
Yeah.
that are coming
We
out
got
here.
more to
I mean,
replace you.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, I know for me in my position, I can't do it. Right, there's just some things I just can't access from home. And again, we were going in part time, so whatever I need to do that I couldn't do from home, I would access when I was in at work. But Apple may be now I can't even say that, right? Because they have a lot of proprietary stuff they want to keep a close hold on, and it's easier to do from a facility that you have that you can lock down, right? So to do the remote thing, yes, there are ways to actually, lock stuff down, whether it be VPN or some type of other secure method of logging in. But they may
Yeah.
say, well, there's still no guarantee that you won't be taking pictures of something that comes in. Like you could just have somebody at home taking pictures of their laptop saying, hey, this is a new product we have coming out and it leaks, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what the rules are in their facility, right? Like, can you have phones in their facility? Can you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Do they got some signal jammers or something where nothing gets out if you do have your phone?
Right.
In the facility? I don't know. I don't know how much they protect their intellectual property, right, to make sure it doesn't get out there. I know they're not gonna pay a ransom if it does get out there, though. I know that much. But
Right.
yeah, so but yeah, no, that's interesting. I'm curious,
Yeah.
and there was talk. I'll tell you this: there was talk before now about companies. They were kind of entertaining that idea, like,
Mhm.
hey, you know what I mean? Like people staying at home. It may be, especially companies that may pay like for gas for people to come in, or different expenses that they were paying for people to travel or stuff like that. If they
Right.
come to find out they can save money doing that, they'll probably just be like, all right, we're not gonna have to have that as an expense anymore. Yeah, go ahead, stay
Right.
home. Do
Yeah, you were exactly right on that. That's one thing. I shared one of the articles that I randomly came across, but I'm not sure if it has all the details that I've read earlier. But they made that point about how is, you know, what is the potential cost savings for individuals for like the for the travel back and forth between work, as well as the environmental impact as far as like vehicles, gas, and they had everything like really like spelled out, like every kind of like argument. And I think they kind of wanted Tim Cook, which is the CEO, I think the CEO of Apple, but they wanted him to
Mhm.
kind of like consider maybe making a manager's like decision, like a managerial decision between like people at like a lower level can decide like, hey, we have a team here. What you guys think of as a team? Should we come into work? How much can we do remotely? How much can we do on site? Um, as opposed to making it like, I guess, a top level like corporate decision. They make it more of like uh, the bottom level, we call it like the skip, your first level skip or whatever, the first level manager that can kind of make the decision with their own workforce and say, hey,
Right.
how much can we get done? And we'll
So
kind of
I
go down the
could
chain.
I could see this from both directions. Like
Yeah.
since I fall in that weird pocket, they call them Zennials or elder millennials, or now I've been called a geriatric millennial, uh, where I like where this is going, but I can see it from the boss's perspective. Like in Apple's perspective, I built you a campus.
Right. This is a
You
billion
know
dollar
what I mean?
campus.
Like you're going to come here and sit in this seat, like because
Right.
it's not going to save us money by you working from home. You know what I mean? Like I can see if you're part of some kind of lease space or something like that. Like yeah, maybe you stop paying a lease on that. You don't need to pay for the lights and the heat and stuff like that. If people can work remotely and be trusted, it's a whole trust situation. Like if you are being just as productive as you were when you're in the seat, but now you also have the flexibility where maybe your kid is sick and they can stay home now, or you can save money but not have to pay for childcare, or you don't have to sit in traffic for an hour and burn that gas. Like I see all these things being beneficial if you have that trust relationship with your employer. But if you have a campus,
Right.
guess
Some,
where you going?
yeah.
you
It's
coming you
true.
coming back to the campus because what am I gonna do with that? Like
Yeah. That's a
I
good point.
invested billions in this loop. You gonna
Right.
sit your butt in this loop.
I got
So
this
I can
big.
see it. I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
so
you got to
yeah,
come back.
go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say because I the old mindset though is like I need to see my employees to make sure they're being productive, which for the most part, they're not being productive while they're at work. Like you know what I mean? You get a certain amount of work out of them, and then after that, it's emails and web surfing and whatever else. Because you can only do like even though you have so many hours in the seat, you can only do so much in those hours. Like if you work all the time, you would blow a gasket. So you get a lot of unproductive. You can be unproductive at work. That's the case in any case. When you're at home, you can multitask. So are you being just as productive? Like maybe, I don't know. Like again, I just see those metrics, but you could do a lot more for yourself independently. I get that. So I would also want to be at home full time, if not part time. But if they build you a campus,
Right, where you come.
yeah,
And I think another argument, at least something that I've thought about as well, is like me being somebody that has worked remotely quite a bit here, even outside of the pandemic. I've been a remote worker, and I think I myself find myself working more being a remote worker than being on site, because I tend to, I, the office is your
yeah.
house.
It's hard. It's hard to turn it off. Yeah,
Yeah, it's hard to turn it off. So you get stuck doing some stuff for work, and you're trying to figure out some problem, or you're trying to fix something, or put together some presentation or something to that effect. And then you're, all of a sudden it's like 9, 10 o'clock at night, and you're still logged in,
yeah,
when you should be like, spending time with the family or watching some shows, playing games, or whatever, reading a book. But I think that's like you said, it's a double-edged sword. Obviously, it's good to have people in the workforce, people um, um, to what's the word? Just people to come together and kind of collaborate and come up with some business ideas. And when you have somebody in front of you, you can talk to, it's a little bit more personal. You see somebody face to face, and you can
yeah,
walk to the office, walk down this hallway, and say, "Hey, can you guys look at this for me?" or whatever, as opposed to falling, trying to call them on a Teams or Zoom or whatever you're using. Um, but yeah, it's kind of like I can see it both ways. Um, I say that me personally, I feel like I'm maybe to a poor extent, I'm doing maybe to my own detriment, I'm doing more work remotely than I would at the office. Like I'm kind of like maybe
right.
taxing myself more than I should be. When I'm at the office, probably like you go in at 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever your hours, and you leave and you clock out and you just go home and do your thing. You don't really log back in. Most people. Uh, but when you're in the off in your house and you're logged in, as soon as you wake up or whatever, brush your teeth, get some breakfast, and you walk to your computer, your office, and all of a sudden you logged in, and then sometimes you forget to eat lunch, you've got to forgot to eat dinner, and all of a sudden you're just working on some stuff
Mhm.
through the evening. So I could see both sides of that as well. But
Yeah.
I'm, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on that large tangent. As you were talking about remote work and going back in the office, Shannon, it made me
you
think
got
about
you got
that.
you got to let go. You got to get it out.
No,
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah.
You're like, I'm working 15-hour days.
Yeah, I'm working
I want to
15
go
goddamn
back.
hours.
I
Let me
want
back
to go
in.
back.
Yeah, I
And I
know
can see
people.
that's also an
Yeah.
interesting perspective. Yeah. Like the greatest benefit for me was I felt as though I had less meetings just to have meetings, because it's a lot more, it takes a lot more effort to synchronize everybody's remote schedule to get them into a meeting, uh, that then just walking into my office and completely distracting me from doing my job. I hate that.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah,
I
yeah,
and you know what I mean? Like because
yeah.
there's access there. They can just walk in and then just take 40 minutes out of my day
Right.
to talk about whatever. So I did like that because I felt as though I had less meetings and I was able to, help my wife out. If the kids had an appointment or something like that, I could multitask. I can knock out whatever tasks I had to do in the morning, take them to their appointment, get back to work. And like you said, sometimes overwork. So I felt as they were getting more out of me by keeping me home. But again, it's about the trust with your employees. Like, how does that work? Like, I think when it
Mhm.
comes to IT, cybersecurity, all that stuff, a lot of it could just be done remotely, unless you work on systems like Shannon said, you just don't have access to unless you go in the building. Um, so
Yeah.
I think it's definitely like again, I love my people. I love the millennial generation where we will challenge the norms, but then I still have a little tug in the back of me from the Generation X, like, no, you're gonna come to work so I can put my eyes on you.
That's right. I don't trust you.
But that's a good question though. Like tell me how I'm being unproductive by being at home. Like
Mhm.
show me the metrics where things are starting to fall off. Because I guarantee you, they probably can pinpoint it. They probably can be like, all right, here is where we feel as we're not getting the return back like we used to in these categories. Or like in your case, they'll look at the metrics and be like, oh man, we actually are getting more out of them and not paying them more. So they might work out our to our benefit.
Mhm.
So,
So I know
but
for I know for us, Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
good. I was gonna say, but they built a campus. But you go ahead.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I know for us, like we had a rule that there was still a time frame where it was work hours, and you had to respond to a call or email within a certain amount of time. Like that's how they kind of kept their eye on you, right? Like if they needed something from you, like if I send you this email, I need a response within an hour. If I call you, I need a response within an hour. You know what I mean? It wasn't a free for all type thing where it's like get back to me whenever. So I mean, they
Right.
still kind of kept an eye on us, even though we were not,
Right.
you know what I mean? My supervisor could always reach out to us through email or text or whatever, right? Or just calling.
Yeah.
So I mean, you still have that. We are still in the technological age where someone can still get got, like if they want to reach out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
If your icon's not green or whatever,
yeah. There you
you're not
go.
logged in.
Yeah.
You're showing
So,
Right.
away all day.
yeah,
Hold up.
yeah. What's going on here? You know what I mean? So, yeah, it can hurt you if you're like if your supervisor is a like what do you call it? Like one of your friends on PlayStation or Xbox or
Oh,
whatever.
right. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
you pop up.
right.
You
See,
playing
logged in.
games all day, you know what I mean? And like, what are you doing? Like,
That's right. You
you
got to
must
go
be
in invisible
providing
mode.
something
You
to
got
me. Yeah, yeah. You know, that could backfire on you, but no.
right. That's true. Yep.
But,
Friends on
Yeah.
Facebook
I'm
with
not
like
saying it's happened
Xbox or
to me.
something.
I'm
Yeah.
honestly not saying it happened to me. I just
Right. Yeah. It sounds like you're talking from experience.
no, it's not from experience. I assure you,
Yeah.
it's not from experience. So I was always quick to respond to emails and calls or texts or whatever that came up. It was
Yeah.
always- and anytime
Yeah.
I
And
had an
it,
appointment or something like that, I would let my supervisor know, be like, "Hey, I'm gonna be out of pocket for a little while. You know,
right.
my son or
Right.
daughter has a doctor's appointment. I have a doctor's appointment, so they were always aware."
Right.
Yeah. And
That's good.
it's not that you can't do multiple things at once. Like I had a couple conference calls where I was in the car heading to like Home Depot to buy supplies or something like that for the house. Like when they were kind of open, kind of closed. You know what I mean? Just like, oh, I'm going X, Y, and Z. If it happened to fall into the weekly sync or whatever, I would just talk to them from the car. Just
Mhm.
pop my AirPods in, and I felt more productive. Like now, was I being as productive? I don't know, but I felt more productive. I was able
Right.
to accomplish more. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah. That's the
no, it's
benefit of
interesting though.
being remote. Yeah. Like you said, you can kind of multitask and you can be doing some stuff and, listen to the meeting. Like you were saying, like if you're, if they take 40 minutes out your day, like you're sitting in an office, everybody's collaborating, everybody's like grouped up together. Um, this may be a good thing or bad thing, but if you're in a virtual meeting, like if it's a meeting that's maybe not doesn't require all of your attention, you can be doing something else while the meeting's
Yeah,
happening. You can be like looking at some other, putting together some slides or whatever you need to be doing, researching something, or you can be checking your email while the meeting's going on. You don't have to be like sitting in the office, like oh, looking at your watch, like what time is this going to be over? So
yeah,
that's
In a
maybe a small
in a
pro.
stuffy conference room, catching COVID.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yep, exactly. So there's
yeah,
some pros and cons for sure.
yeah, definitely. Um, got off on a tangent. What have I been doing all week?
Yeah, you watch any shows? Yeah.
So I didn't. I plan to watch John Wick 3. I didn't watch it yet. It's on Netflix. It's on my list, so I will watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did watch something though. What did I watch? Did we talk about the three movies? The Greenland, Underwater, and Replicants. Did I talk to you about those?
I did
No.
watch Greenland. You mentioned Greenland last week, but I don't know if you said
Okay.
what you thought of it. Um,
Yes. Yeah. So I did watch it, and out of those three movies, it's the only one I liked.
yeah. Yeah.
The other two weren't terrible, but I definitely did like Greenland. It fit that disaster movie
Yeah.
niche I've been missing for a while. They haven't dropped like a Dante's Peak or an Inferno or whatever. So
Right.
that one's definitely scratched that itch.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I watched it as well. I think I felt the
yeah,
same way. At first, I didn't. I watched the trailer and I was like, "Oh boy, what is this all about? Like, this is silly." But I watched it. And I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good.
yeah.
But
And
I'm
it
sorry.
didn't make
Yeah.
the military look like usually the military looks really bad in these movies. Like
Yeah.
where like the military's unprepared, they just can't get anything right. And it was a good balance. Like there was some stuff where I was like, no, that wouldn't go down like that. But there was a few instances where I was like, yeah, that was probably the way it would work.
Right.
Like
Right.
with the manifest, like they called them to the to get on the plane, and then they discover like, oh, you disqualify X amount of reasons. Like that seems
Right.
pretty Like it's
Right.
inefficient. Like in the movie, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that seems so inefficient." They wouldn't do that. Like, no, that seems pretty. That's on par.
Right.
But then there was
Right.
the other instance at the end where you were like, oh, "Okay, well, they like them showing up is not gonna make a difference." And when they showed up, it was like some airman was like, "Yeah," like it was all Air Force too. I
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah."
So, yeah.
I was like, "Yeah," but like okay, you made it here, so we will risk our necks to get you in the building. I was like, okay, that's
Mhm.
pretty spot on. But
Yeah.
then you know what I mean? Like it's like unrealistic, like how they got there.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like all
Yeah.
y'all should be dead.
Yeah. And
So I thought that was
I,
pretty good. Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you. And I think that the big thing about the movie for me was like my big takeaway, and I'm not trying to give any spoilers or anything like that, but just like the kind of like we talked about before with like Shannon and I and Shannon and everybody here, we talked about how the oil when there's something going on with the oil and everybody's gonna rush and grab the oil before everybody else and try to like
Right.
survive on their own and stuff like that. It's kind of like you kind of see that bit of selfishness as well as people's like desperation when they get to a certain
Yeah.
situation where they don't have any other opportunity and any other like or they feel like there's no it's everybody for themselves kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you kind of see that in the movie where like I think at one part like somebody tries to get a kid like, hey, take my child, you don't have to take me but take my child please, and then they
Right.
had to like they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I gotta go, you know you don't you
I
can't come
wouldn't
with
I
me.
wouldn't have slowed down.
Right.
She would
Right.
have got clipped. I said
Right.
no.
Yeah, I said no, you ain't come with me.
I said
I
no.
got the pass, I'm going.
Like,
So
did you get the phone call? Did you get the text?
yeah. Yeah.
You
And then
got to
people
watch the
trying to
channel.
like
We got to know.
scramble to
Yeah, we
get.
got to know your opinion on
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, I think you have some opinions too, Shan, if you watch it. But people scrambling to get drugs and gun
Right.
violence and everything like that, all kind of craziness, and
Like,
then
what are
people
you
are
going to
like,
do with this?
yeah, yeah, I know
What are
people
you
going
going to do with
crazy.
this?
Yeah,
Like, go
and
get
then
that
people get
TV for what?
yeah, and people trying to like just like you're saying when they got on the whole plane thing, and people trying to like they rushed the airport, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
chaos ensued, and you know I don't know. You'd imagine all of a sudden some bullets start flying and all kinds of stuff goes down. But it's a pretty good movie. It's pretty like it was deeper than I thought because I watched the trailer and the thing that caught me was like I didn't know all the details of the movie, but the fact that it's about a like an asteroid coming to Earth, but
Yeah.
it seemed like wherever they're going, there's an asteroid like falling out the sky. I was like, how is this like hitting them wherever they like it's following them?
Everywhere they
Like,
went. Yeah, everywhere they went.
every day, but it wasn't that bad, and it had like a little explanation for what was happening. So I
Yeah.
thought they did a pretty good job on it. But
Yeah.
I think you should check it out too, Shannon.
Okay, it sounds very was it Deep Impact ish?
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty much
Ish.
like that. So if you
Yeah.
if you enjoy those movies, then you might enjoy this as well. But if not, then
All right, so now I gotta ask. Now I gotta ask the question. Since apparently the world is coming to an end, is the president black?
did
They
they
never
show the
show the
president?
president.
Yeah, I don't think
They
they
Okay,
never
ever
show the
showed.
all right.
president. Yeah,
Because
they never show the
usually
president.
it's just like with Morgan Freeman in Deep Impact. Was it Deep Impact? Was that the name of it?
Was
Morgan
it
Freeman.
Armageddon or Deep Impact? I
So
think it was Armageddon.
Armageddon didn't show the president,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
right?
so it was Deep Impact then. It was Morgan
Deep
Freeman. Yeah.
Impact, and then you had Danny Glover was 2012,
Oh, yeah, you're right.
right?
Yeah.
Chappelle even spoofed that. Remember where he did the Morgan Freeman
Yeah. It's
thing?
always a black president when
Yeah,
things are
Morgan Freeman.
about the
Yeah, when things about to end, right?
Look at you, Hollywood, with the subliminals.
Dang, why they do that to us?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Morgan
But
Freeman,
I
President
even
Black.
have I even have a Chappelle Show shirt where he's holding the newspaper article that said asteroid coming, black president's fault. Something like that. Yeah,
Hilarious.
I have a Chappelle Show shirt that has that. It's old,
That's hilarious.
but yeah,
Okay, I'm
yeah.
about to find one of those too.
Yeah, if you watch that skit, it's hilarious though, man, because it's
Yeah.
Deep Impact. That's what he's spoofing on. But, asteroid coming, black president's fault. That's what the news article said. Yeah.
Oh my God. Thanks, Obama.
It makes too much sense. It makes too much sense.
I'm gonna
But
check it out.
I thought that one was good though. Yeah, you should have to check out. The other ones I watched Underwater with Kristen Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
It had a couple comedians in it. It made me chuckle a couple times, but is it worth watching? It's not worth watching if you got time. but
I read
it's not.
the reviews on it because I was gonna watch it, and I'm not gonna watch it.
It almost scratched the itch though. Like it was like it had that near future thing happening. It had the you have panels that are just like shiny for no reason, like futuristic type stuff. I like that stuff, but then I'm not. I've never been into the claustrophobic water type. So like you know what I mean. Like some of those movies are good, but it never feels like high stakes. Like yeah, you're going to drown. That's it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
but there's a twist in it. So you're just like, oh, okay, I see where they're going with this. Because what I liked, I keep saying that it wasn't worth it, but I did like some stuff. Like I liked how it just jumped straight into it. Like the movie starts and it's already happening. Like she's uh sitting there reflecting. You're like, oh, it's about to be one of those movies, and then boom, here goes the water. Stuff is collapsing. People were screaming. I'm like, okay.
Huh.
You know, we
And
killed off everybody except for these. You know, it's always a group of people. They killed off everybody except for this group of people. But then they started killing people in the wrong order, in my opinion. So
Oh, damn.
don't kill the funny people first. Like,
Damn. Would you catch that one on? Is that on one of the streaming?
Underwater was on. I want to say that was Hulu.
Hulu.
I think it was Hulu or Prime. Was it Prime or was it Hulu? It's one of those. Because I think the only thing I watched on Hulu so far was like Devs and some anime. I don't think, and Solar Opposites. I don't think I watched the movie, but I may have. Because Replicants was HBO. So it could have been HBO. I got so many, like I might as well have cable. I've bought every channel separately.
I was just thinking the same thing the other
cable.
day, man. Like I was talking to my wife the other day, and I was like, man, we have so many streaming services. Now, granted, like, you know, my Netflix is paid through T-Mobile, right? So like I'm not really paying for that one. I got the bundle. So I got Disney Plus, Hulu. Was it Disney Plus?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Disney Plus and Hulu are in a bundle. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But I got Hulu Live, right? So now I'm paying for I'm paying for more because it has like 60 some odd like live panels and whatnot, so I can watch sports like that, which I haven't even been watching really the NBA playoffs like I told myself I would. So I'm like, am I really even getting my money's worth at this point? You know what I mean? So but there's so many that I have that I'm just like, wow, I should have just stuck with cable. But even with cable, I was watching like 3 things and it was never anything I wanted to see, right? So it's like, yeah.
Gotcha. And then the last one I watched was Replicants or Replicas or something like that. It's Keanu Reeves movie. Not worth it. It's what you expect. But I was really bored, so I watched it. It's again near future, so I like those type of movies. Definitely sci-fi. He's like a neuroscientist or something like that. Like he's trying to map people who just passed away, map their minds to robots. So basically, like soldier dies in combat, but you can bring them back. It's just not working. Like it's working, but it's not working well. Like they come back and they go crazy. Just because they're not in their own body. You know what I mean? So it's like what's going on? Who am I? Where am I at? So they go insane. But he suffers a family tragedy, which he has to quickly figure out how to make it work because of like this horrific car accident happens. But it just didn't do it for me. It just fell apart.
Yeah.
Like the people he brings back are too accepting of what happened for me. So I'm just like, and then there's conspiracy in there. You know, I don't do the whole twist and double twist thing. It's just 2 twists. So So, but you know,
he'll redeem himself in John Wick 3.
Yeah. When it comes to action, he's good. Like this was more drama. So it's just like, I don't believe you, Keanu. you're too cool and calm in this situation. But yeah, I watched those 3. I watched another one with Bruce Willis, but I can't remember the name of it, and it was terrible. So it's not even worth talking about. But it involves him in space. He's not the lead actor, but they're leaving Earth because Earth is basically about to. There's a virus or something, So they charter these ships and they're going to the nearest planet. And I wanted to like it. It had some vibes of like Deep Horizon, but you could tell it had a really cheap budget. So
Dang.
So it's not.
Could you,
I was like, it can't be Armageddon 2 because didn't he bite it in that one?
yeah, but and he wasn't the lead, you know what I mean? So he's just kind of there to hit you with the one-liners and whatnot. The other dude who was the lead, I don't even know him from anywhere, but it just didn't do it for me. It was just like, why is there like, because the virus doesn't make it onto the ship, it's something totally different that's killing them. It's like making people into zombies. It's like, I don't understand how these two tie together.
right.
And then it has one of those endings where it's like everybody pretty much died for no reason. It's like, I'm done with this. So
Yeah.
but aside from that, and I played Horizon. I finally made it past it's like a good hour or two of tutorial. I never made it past that because it came out at the same time as Breath of the Wild, right? So Breath of the Wild teaches you organically how the mechanics work. It just allows you to die over and over again as you learn, like, okay, these are the systems, this is how it works. You teach yourself. This is one of those games that's like, no, we're going to teach you how to hunt. And we're going to teach you how to do this. We're going to teach you how to upgrade. And I'm just like, I don't care. But I finally made it past that. It's a good game. Like I think as I get older, I'm more intolerant to games that have systems where you have to explain it to me for hours on end.
So you actually,
I don't get into that. Yeah.
You're saying the Horizon Zero Dawn, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Because I started playing it again because of they started showcasing Forbidden West. So the sequel is coming out hopefully this year. So I was like, you know what? I really need to get through this game. So I finally made it through the tutorial, and I was like, oh, okay. Once things open up, it's great.
Yeah. Okay. I some reason I had thought you had already like played and beat that game or something like that, but yeah, I think you enjoyed it.
I just kept replaying the tutorial over and over again. Like I would get like into the tutorial, but like I'm done.
Yeah. And I think the one thing I didn't like as much about the game, and I think other people actually kind of liked it, but some of the I want to say like the computer animation, like the body, like the facial expressions when she's like Aloy's talking to somebody else, and like you kind of see them trying to make faces. It kind of seems almost robotic or kind of like maybe a little unnatural to me. But
right,
I think
Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, it's kind of like what do you call like the NPCs or whatever. Like it's kind of like just like the way the mannerisms and some of the body emotions kind of seem like unrealistic, but besides that, which is not a big deal when it comes to the game, the main thing is just exploring and killing things and figuring out what's going on with the world and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's a good game overall. I think obviously it's a big hit. A lot of people are looking forward to the next one, so it's I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. So far I like what I see. I'm doing some side quests and stuff like that. It's not overwhelming. It's not like The Witcher, where it's just icons all over the map.
Right, which is crazy
because I have to go to all these question marks. I must get them all. So it doesn't do too much of that. Like you don't have too many side quests happening all at one time. And it happens somewhat organically. So I like it. I like the main protagonist, Aloy. I think it was good casting. The facial animation and stuff like that doesn't bother me. It is uncanny valley territory where, like you said, it's kind of sometimes feels unnatural. I keep seeing and I can't unsee is every time the camera pans, it causes the physics to reset. So if they feature a character, because they're in engine cutscenes and they pop to Aloy, her hair pops and whatever else physics all jump. And then you flip to somebody else and it also pops. You're just like
you see something pop out of the
so
background.
Nitpicky. It's so nitpicky, but like you'll see the physics reset every time they pan the camera. So I was like, that's got to be an engine thing. It's just for whatever reason the engine resets the physics.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, why does her hair keep bouncing? I don't get it. Is the wind blowing? Like, what is happening? But everything else though is cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's a big game, and it's like you mentioned though. I think it's not as bad. It's not, I think I completed that game all the way through. Like did all the side quests and stuff, but it wasn't like Witcher where it seems like there's a million little icons everywhere, and it's like when I started playing that game, I played Witcher and I got through it, but I didn't like do every side quest. It was like too much for me. I was like, I need to get through this game already. But I think they do have a good balance in Horizon, so I think you enjoy that one.
Yeah,
but you definitely have to let us
Yeah.
know once you get through it, what you think about it.
Yeah, it's on my hit list. Like, because I'm engaged. Like, I need to go back to Control, but I haven't played it in so long. I'll probably have to relearn how to play it.
Yeah.
So just like I'll get back to it. I'll circle back sooner or later. But I want to get through this one because it's only probably like what 20 hours, 20, 30 hours.
I think so.
So it'll take me a couple
It's not
weeks.
too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad.
Maybe a few weeks. But
yeah, I turned on Control the other day too for a little bit. I just played it for like maybe like 30 minutes or so. But it's a good game. For some reason, I just like been like taking my time with it, and I got like I said, I have this queue of other games I've been trying to get through. So it's never ending. There's always some hot games out that I want to play.
Right.
But it's only got so much time in a day. Especially when you got a family, you gotta spend time with the wife and the
right, exactly.
the kids.
But they I don't know if I told you, LeVon. I think I told Shannon, but they had Series S's here. Like I walked into the store and they had a bunch of them on the shelf. They had a group of younger dudes picking them up. And it's funny. So there was one left, right? So I was walking by. There's one left, and it was these two dudes were looking at it. So I walked by and I was like, "Hey, yeah, trying to decide if you're going to buy it or not." Kind of just like you should get that before it disappears. And no, he was like, "No, we're trying to figure out which one of us gets it."
Oh,
and then,
damn!
And then the one dude, I literally, because they flipped church to Saturday this week because today, Sunday for me anyway, they're doing a fitness competition, which like it's a the audience they wanted to split the audience, like, oh, you want to go to church or you want to go to this event that's happening at the same time, so they just flipped the days, which I thought was cool. But I just saw him in church and he looked at me and he was like, we ain't debating. He was like, I got hands. I started laughing. He wasn't serious.
I got
hands, but I thought that was funny. I don't know if somebody got it because I went to go because I was just seeing what electronics they had and whatnot. But when I came back, it was gone though.
Yeah.
Somebody got it.
I know. I wonder if they like flipped the corners because I don't know. They must have showed up at the same time, and then they're like, "Oh." Yeah. Only when they both reached for it at the same time, and then they're like, "Oh," and they looked at each other like, "Damn, who's taking it?"
And they knew each other. So
yeah, and they knew each other.
It's like
yeah. They could do some rock paper scissors.
So again, like it could be that I'm in a very controlled environment. That's why I'm starting to see them on shelves. But it looks like there's more out there in the wild. Like you still can't find a PS5, but it looks like there's more Xboxes popping up.
I've been seeing occasionally I check like the Xbox website and see the stock, and they've been having the Series S pop up every now and then. I've been seeing it in stock, so it seems like it's becoming more available. And kind of on a side note, but I just recently I sold my PS4 since I have the new PS5, and I was like, I don't think I need this anymore. It's backwards compatible. The PS5 is backwards compatible with the PS4, and I think all my games that I have right now I work for it. So I went ahead and sold that thing, and now I try to like clear out some of the space to have all these old consoles sitting around. I still have my PS2. I still have my like Nintendo 64. Got some of these classic consoles that I don't really want to get rid of. They have some deep memories for me, but I figured I'd sell that one. And I told you guys before, but I might get the S just for just to put in a different room. If it
the other wing of your home.
The other wing, that's right. Yeah.
Ready to go.
So the PS4, I got some money from that. Actually, I got enough money to actually pay for the most pay for a S. So it's pretty much would be covered.
I would be upset if I was really looking hard for one of these consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get another one. I got an X, but I'm gonna get an S now.
I got an S.
I would be upset, LeVon, if I was actively looking. But I'm like,
I know. Yeah. I know you.
I might get an X though. I might get a Series X.
Yeah. It's hot.
Yeah, I might do that. And whenever one pops up, like I haven't been seeing those a lot. I've seen a couple pictures online, people saying, "Oh yeah, there's one at Walmart here and there," but like S's seem to be everywhere. At least from my limited viewpoint.
And one
Well,
bit
the
of
S
like,
is the S is the lesser configuration, though, right? Am I remembering incorrectly? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
same
it's a cheaper.
CPU, different GPU.
that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cheaper than the X for sure. And a little bit like nerd news. I can't remember the specifics, but apparently AMD has a new. They're
Oh,
coming up
the
with
TIs.
well, no,
It's
that's
what the graphics
Nvidia.
card. Oh, okay.
Well, that's Nvidia, but that's for some other new nerd news too. But the AMD, who's the main GPU for the Xbox as well as the PlayStation, they have some new technology that's supposed to be a competitor to Nvidia's. They call it like DLSS, which is like
Right.
it helps with the frame rates, improves the frame rates with the same quality, but it for the most part, what it does is like I think it lowers the resolution, but it upscales it, so like it doesn't impact the processor as much, so you can get more frames out of like
Yeah, it uses AI to
right,
upscale low resolution. So your 1080p can be upscaled to 4K through AI.
right,
It looks very
exactly.
convincing.
Yeah, and so apparently there are that abilities available. They only in the article they only mentioned Series S and X. I imagine PlayStation may have ability to take advantage of that as well, but they only mentioned those consoles. But apparently that's gonna be coming down the line, I guess, as maybe developers get more comfortable with it. They can implement the AI to kind of enhance the games, and also you get like 4K, like 120 hertz, like you know.
Right.
I don't know, Horizon Zero Dawn or like Halo Infinite or whatever. All of a sudden, it's like it's looking pretty righteous. So, I guess that was kind of some nerd news I came across just the other day. But that's pretty cool. Hopefully, that comes down the pipe pretty soon. We can see some cool games take advantage of that
Yeah.
feature.
I think I saw Digital Foundry did one on Control where they had it. I think it was running at 1440p, but it was using DLSS for 4K. And then a
Yeah,
side by side comparison. You know how they get real down and dirty, and
right.
they're like it's so close that it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah,
Like
you can't even
you
see
can
it.
like you can like you can if you're them, but it's said
Right,
to a
right.
normal user. Like you save so much, like you said on GPU, like the overhead goes down so much that now you can do 120 frames per second because you're not
Mhm.
taxing the GPUs as much.
Yeah.
And I think their rumor has it that they're going to potentially put it in the next Switch. So like whatever the Switch upgrade that's coming out,
Hmm.
so that when it's docked, it'll be able to produce close to 4K visuals.
Hmm.
Um, so that's pretty much all they're missing. Like it's the for the Switch, it's the utility, it's the software, and then now if you can just up the graphics, perfect.
Yeah. Right. It's true.
So, are the AMD processors? Is that what's in the consoles now, or are
Yeah.
they talking like that's what's going to replace what's going in the consoles to kind of help the shortage that's going on?
No, that's
That's
what they
what's in.
currently use. Is
Yeah.
it RDNA? Is that what it is? I might be conflating the two. I'm not a PC guy,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I have to look it up, but it's a different, like, yeah, it's AMD's processor. What have they been using for? Like they have a partnership with, I guess, Sony and Microsoft for their
yeah,
consoles, and I'm not sure what Nintendo uses. They might have some proprietary stuff, but
they use what is it? It's the same thing that's used in the NVIDIA Shield. It's a form of ARM. I can't remember off the top of my head.
yeah,
Yeah, I
but
have to search for it.
but yeah, at least the PlayStation and Xbox, those are using AMD's processors, and I imagine that they're probably cheaper too. And Nvidia, I know, is probably charges like a premium because they're like maybe the more well-known like graphics processing company. But AMD is just they have great products as well. They're maybe just like the lesser known, lesser like maybe uh, not as popular or not making as much money, I think, as Nvidia in general from their GPU market.
Yeah, the Switch uses NVIDIA's Tegra, like an older
Oh,
version
okay.
of Tegra graphics,
Yeah.
and they're saying that the upgrade may garner the Turing based NVIDIA RTX 20 series GPUs. Like that's when the series started using DLSS
Hmm.
to upscale. So they said that the new Switch may use that instead, but
Interesting.
we will see.
Yeah.
I think E3 is next week, right?
Yeah.
So there should be some news from something about some games coming out. I think they already said God of War has been pushed out to next year, which I'm not surprised. They didn't show not one screenshot, not one video saying it's
That's
going to come
right.
out in 2021. You know what I mean? Like they were like 2021 is just like a logo. Like well, it's not coming out, and it's not.
Yeah.
they they pushed it because of COVID. And they were saying that Horizon Forbidden West should come out this fall, but no guarantees because of COVID.
Right. I saw that too.
Yeah, but for the video they showed, it looked really good though.
Yeah, absolutely. Imagine that there's a lot of little nuances that they have to take care of before it gets released that
Right.
people don't really appreciate, even though like it seems like, oh, that game looks like it's done now. It looks like it's really ready to go, but then they have to do all kinds of like, I don't know, box art packaging and all kinds of like, I don't know, test out certain small
the
effects.
mocap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they can't have people. Well, they can now if they're, you know what I mean, like if they follow certain precautions. But there was a long period of time where you couldn't have people in the same room together.
Mhm.
And then I heard it also was affecting music because orchestras couldn't play together.
Oh yeah.
So they said
That's true.
like you can do certain sound effects remotely, but when you have a, you know what I mean, like a score that needs a bunch of different instruments, like they have to be in the same room.
Right.
So they're saying like that stuff wasn't happening either. So
Yeah, you're blowing all types of droplets through those.
That's right. Yeah, all them droplets coming through the coming out your tuba or whatever.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm cool with delays. Like I'm not caught up anyway, man. Like my backlog, there you go. That's the word I'm looking for. Is so full right now. I got so many games still got to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same here. I'm not hurting for game access. I have so many games I got to get through. I still got to get through Breath of the Wild and some other games that's still in the backlog that's been out forever.
Yeah, I think Breath of the Wild came out the same month or a month apart from Horizon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I
So
think
they both dropped around the same time.
Yeah, it came out like whenever the Switch was launched, right? It was like a launch with the Switch.
Yeah, because it was
when
cross gen. Because I bought it originally for the Wii U, and I got like maybe a couple of hours into it, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna play this on that system.
Right. Yeah.
But aside from that, I mean, I don't really have much going on. I'm still playing Hades a little bit, but I just keep dying. So
that's right.
it's a good game. Good game, but
yeah.
I don't know if I ever beat it.
Yeah, those type of games, I don't know if I can really get into where you just like you have to beat the game in like one sitting.
Yeah.
Because like you said, like we talked about before, it's just like the what's the other game that's just like it, the Dead
Dead Cells.
Dead Cells, yeah, Dead Cells,
Yeah.
just like that one. I was like, I started playing. I was like, oh, I didn't realize what type of game it was. I didn't realize it's the type of game where you like die once and you go back to the very beginning. I was like, oh my god, it's like, you know, I just got to this far part of the game and then I died, and also I go all the way back to the beginning. I'm like, damn, I got to do this all over again from the beginning.
Right.
But it's all good. It takes some, like dedication. Make sure that you put some time in, because I don't know how long the game is. I don't know how long it takes to actually get through the end. But I guess you gotta allocate some time, block off your schedule, so you make sure you don't get any kind of interruptions, or got to step away from your controller. Got to pause it and just like hope nobody like turns off your system or doesn't go to sleep or something.
Right, or get a
like the old school. Yeah. Old school days when you play like a Nintendo, you didn't have any. They didn't have like saves. You just played it like one time through.
Yeah, you leave that bad boy on if you're playing Zelda. You just like hopefully mine doesn't hit the power button.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
Yeah. So I think it does it for this episode. Hopefully next Friday we'll have a lot more info. I think Nintendo doesn't go until the 15th though. Like everybody shifted their dates. Yeah, June 15th. That's weird. So yeah, everybody shifted their dates because E3 shifted. Except for Nintendo, they're like, we ain't shifting nothing. So usually Nintendo kicks off E3. This year they're actually going to do the tail end. So like, you know how usually like the first couple of days are like here's Microsoft's keynote event. Here is Sony's. Like Sony won't be there either. They're doing their stuff virtually. Here's Nintendo. Like usually those are all the big leads, and then they go into the weeks on the floor where they do the playing the games and stuff like that. Well, since they still have restrictions and whatnot, they're not really doing that, but they still want Microsoft to lead, and then I think it's going to be Microsoft / Bethesda conference, and usually it would go into Nintendo's conference. Nintendo was like, nah, we'll keep our date the same. So like it'll bleed into the show floor or whatever the equivalent is this year, and then they'll have their keynote. It's super weird.
Right.
So they'll cap the E3 this year, but we'll see. Like hopefully they show off some hardware, but they already said they're not. They said during the keynote there'll be no hardware, so everybody's hoping that throughout the week something will happen. Or like, here's the new Switch.
Yeah,
I doubt it.
I saw something like I think something leaked on like a French, like I don't know, it was an Amazon page or some storefront where they had like a little clip. It showed like a subtitle showed a Nintendo Switch Pro, and I think the price was like $399. I don't know if this was pounds or something like that, but I think it equated to like almost $500, 500 US dollars. So they're like, dang, this can cost like $500. That's like comparable to the Xbox or this PlayStation 5.
Yeah, it's like in a PS5.
Yeah.
So
it's like,
I can see it being a little bit more expensive. Yeah, but not that expensive.
Right. But then you kind of think about it like, we get like cell phones and stuff like that are like $1,000 at minimum. You think maybe a portable, 4K or whatever resolution, and it's like got this awesome processor and has maybe GPS, has a Wi-Fi and all this kind of stuff, just like your cell phone. Maybe it'd be like, more expensive than you'd expect from like a handheld console.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm
Let's see if they
like,
yeah. You're not gonna buy that
for. I'm paying for it. I'm getting.
You're paying for it. Oh, yeah, you're getting it.
Yeah. I got it. I've owned every Nintendo system except for a Super NES.
Yeah. I've had. That's right. I've owned every Nintendo system as well. So I would probably end up buying it too, just because.
And complaining. I'm gonna buy it and complain about it, but I'm gonna buy it.
That's right.
It's gonna happen.
That's right.
But all right, fellas, like this, it's like that joke that black people can't get off the phone.
That's right.
like I gotta go.
I know, right? Shannon's like, wrap this up. Like you got the wrap it up box. Like
I'm listening. Wrap this up, B.
Wrap this up, B.
No, I'm listening. My son has a Switch, but I don't know if I would have paid $500 to get it for him though. Like there's
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think it'd be that expensive, but I can see myself because the original, like we were right back to the show. I think the original was 300. Was it 300 for a Switch?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's like $299.
So I can see 350, 400.
Yeah,
but not $5 though. I would still get it, but I wouldn't get it on launch.
And I would probably like I did with my PS4. I probably would sell my old one. Or I'd buy the new one, then I'd probably sell my old one because it's like I got the new one now. I don't really need the old one unless it's like, especially if it's the same cartridges and same like features or whatever. No reason to keep the old one unless I just want to have like a second console to play with. But that's how I try to balance it out between the costs, like buying the brand new consoles and stuff like that. I try to get rid of the older stuff and kind of make some money back and just put that money towards a new one. So
yeah,
that's what I would probably do. But we'll see. We'll see if that comes to fruition.
Right. So yeah, that'd be good to talk about next week if it does happen. If it doesn't, then there's still gonna be some games showing off. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
I definitely want that or what have you. But so that's it for this show. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Again, if you only listen to this show, don't forget we also talk cybersecurity Monday through Thursday. Check out those episodes, like, share, subscribe, hit a bell if a bell's involved or whatever alerts you to us having a new episode out there. Hit up the website. That's theothersideofthefirewall.com. The other social medias will be in the description. You get me up personally at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy on various platforms. And LeVon?
Hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. So stay safe, stay secure.
Take care.